And then I went to find my husband to ask him, what do you think? Now, I want to say here that I have been told that sometimes when I'm on stage, I am not very complimentary about marriage. And I'm not very complimentary about my husband. And I want to set the record straight, because after 23 years of marriage, I can tell you, I look at that man and I think, I love you. Yeah. I chose well. I just don't want to have to speak to you too much, please. You know. Because the fact is, after 23 years, nothing new is going to happen, right? No one is going to suddenly become riveting. No. We know that. And like, love is love, but conversation, like, fuck, I have shit to do. You know, let's go. And how do my husband and I, how do we avoid talking too much? We avoid talking too much by avoiding fighting. Because see, when you fight, you need to talk, you need to figure it out. But if you're not fighting, you just have to, like, it's very, you know, like, hey man, what's up? Yeah. That's it. You don't really have to do very much else. It's all good. Now, how do we avoid fighting? Well, one of the techniques, which is my contribution, is that there are certain topics which are so important to you, but you have taken them off the table because the first time you've mentioned one of these topics to your partner, their response is so terrifically incorrect that all you can think is, this is not resolvable. But like, we have a mortgage now. And you have a sense of doom. So to avoid those feelings of doom, you take all of those topics and you put them in a different basket called girl chat. These are conversations you're only going to have with your girlfriends. Like, for example, once I said to my husband, hey, did you ever think you'd marry someone with such long legs? And he said, what? And I said, my legs. And he said, what? And I was like, hello, have you met other Indian women? They're not even as long as my legs. Like, I mean, I was trying to help him, you know. But no, he's made some comment, blah, blah, some non-question, blah, blah. I was like, I had this sense of doom. And I was like, I'm going to go lay down. And I left. And I called one of my girlfriends. I'm like, did you ever think he'd marry someone with such long legs? And she was like, bitch, please, I hate you. Your fucking legs are so long. I was like, thank you. And then she talked about how it was amazing that he even got to marry me. I'm like, I know. That's what I was looking for the first time. And then we had a conversation about how some Hollywood actress had had surgery on her knee skin to make her knees look younger. It was very productive. That's what I'm saying. So avoid fighting. Just take those topics off the table. But you know, there's still things you have to discuss with your spouse. And there you don't want to fight. And my husband and I don't. How? 100 on 100 marks to him for coming up with a system of communicating with me that's just perfect. It is basically red, amber, green, okay? Green is topics that I will discuss with my husband. I will be standing next to him talking about this topic, and my husband's response would reflect that he's not even aware I'm in the house. For example, I'll say, hey, I'm going gluten-free, and my husband will... And I'm like, this house is going gluten-free. Because he knows this idea will last, what, maximum 16, 18 hours. That's it. And after that, he can have a sandwich, and it's good. That's green. Red is things I say to my husband where he knows he must stop what he's doing and immediately pay full attention to me. And red is usually topics that start with the sentence, your mother said to me. That's it. Red. But amber, ooh, amber is where all the jeopardy is. Because with an amber topic, my husband's first instinct is to go green. But if he's wrong, tomorrow we are in a lawyer's office. So when I bring up an amber topic, my husband looks at me and he reaches into the back of his head. You can almost sense it. And he thinks, what is the minimum effort I can exert to say something that shows I have a modicum of interest in what she's saying, deliver those lines, and she will piss off. And so when I went to my husband and said, hey, honey, what do you think of my new hairstyle? My husband looked at me and he said, yes. And I was like, yes? And he said, very much.